So, good morning, students. Uh, Let us continue our discussion from where we left in the last class. Now, I have made a playlist called Thermal Physics. Okay, this is this video is like I don't have very costly videos and all these things in the cameras, so I may not be visible. One student was asking me, he's not able to see me. So, what is important? You should be able to see the board. You should be able to hear me, and you should be able to understand what I am writing on the board. Okay, I have made a playlist called Thermal Physics. All these videos will be kept over there, so you can watch one after the other. Now, continuing from the last class, see, one mole, how many molecules it has? Avogadro number 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23. So that you will write it has these many molecules, right? In the last class, we have seen the expression for pressure exerted by the gas molecules on the walls of a container. What was the expression? P is equal to 1/3 rho V RMS square, right? Rho is the density of what? Gas. From here we have derived another expression. What was that? Ke is equal to 3/2 nRT. What is N here? N is number of moles. It is not molecules. Okay? N is number of moles. R is universal gas constant. R is, I am just revising on what we have done in the last class. 8.314 joule per mole Kelvin, and T is temperature in Kelvin, right? So if N is equal to 1, so what you will get? So kinetic energy will be equal to 3/2 RT. Now what is this kinetic energy? It is the kinetic energy of 1 mole. 1 mole has how many molecules? These many molecules. So, if you want to know kinetic energy of 1 molecule, kinetic energy of 1 molecule, it is equal to this. No, it is equal to this 3/2 RT. This is of 1 mole, right? So 1 mole has these many molecules. So it is whole divided by Na. Okay? So whatever kinetic energy you got, you have to divide by the Avogadro number. You will get the kinetic energy of 1 molecule. Suppose they ask you for 10,000 molecules. Whatever you got this, okay, for 10,000 molecules, let us say this value is x into 10,000 in joules. Okay, these are small points, but you should understand them, how to use the equation also, right? Now let us see this question. A fresh air is composed of nitrogen 78% and oxygen 21%. Find RMS speed of nitrogen and oxygen at 20 degrees Celsius. The molar mass of nitrogen is given as this much. This is given as this much. So you have to find out RMS speed. See, air is there. The content is 78% is nitrogen, 21% is oxygen. So what is the formula to find out V RMS? Let us say we are finding for nitrogen. Formula is root over 3 RT by N. This was the formula, right? Now here the temperature should be in Kelvin. The temperature is given in Celsius. So temperature in Kelvin, Pk will be whatever is the temperature in Celsius, add 273 to that, it converts into Kelvin. So it is 293 Kelvin, right? R value is, what is our gas constant, universal gas constant? 8.314 joule per mole Kelvin. Now this should be in, I told you that it should be in kilograms per mole. Now it is given in grams per mole. So you have to convert this into kilograms per mole. So if you put the values here, 3 into 8.314 into 293 divided by 28 into 10 to the power of 3 minus 3. You calculate, you will get 511 meters per second. Okay? In the case of oxygen, everything is same. What is changing? Only this value is changing. So in the case of oxygen, instead of 28, you will get 32. So you make the calculation, you get VRMS for oxygen is approximately 478 meters per second. Okay? Let's move to the next question. Calculate the temperature at which the RMS velocity of a gas triples its value at STP. At STP. What is the temperature at STP? Temperature at STP is equal to 273 Kelvin. Okay. So VRMS is equal to root over 3 RT by M. Alright. You are calculating for the same gas, let us say. So this whole thing is constant, right? So VRMS is proportional to root over T. Now that T is in Kelvin. So here it is given that VRMS 2, VRMS 1 by VRMS 2, it triples, at which the RMS velocity of a gas triples, means 3 times it will become. So it is 1 upon 3. So it is equal to root over T1 by T2. T1 is 273. You have to find T2. Okay. So square it on both sides. You will get T2 is equal to 9 into 273. 9 3 is 27, 2, 63, 65, 24 Kelvin. Suppose I ask you in degree Celsius. So in degree Celsius, what do you have to do? 2457 minus 273. Okay. So main thing is at STP you should know what is the temperature. Simple question, but these things you should know. Okay. All these things you might have covered in chemistry part also. Okay. It's kind of a revision only. So some more terms you keep coming across. This you have seen in chemistry also. Just revision, recap. Monoatomic gases, we will be using these terms. Mono means one. Okay. Single atom gases. These are your noble gases, right? Examples are helium, neon, argon, to name a few. Then you will come across terms diatomic. Di means two. So this molecule will have two atoms. It is very evident. Hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, iodine. All this, H2N2O2. Then you have polyatomic ions. Okay. So these terms we will be making some calculations. I will be referring this term monoatomic, diatomic. So you should know what is them. What are those, right? So polyatomic, your bicarbonates, your bisulfates. What are these? These are anions. And phosphonium, it's a cation, right? So these terms we should know. So when we refer, you should be able to recollect what we are talking about. See, one more thing, any gas molecules, we have different type of gases. Any gas molecule will have 3 type of speeds. So you have this most probable speed, you have this average speed, and you have this RMS speed. Okay, so we have in the previous class also I have given these expressions. Most probable speed is given by 2 RT by M. Average speed is how much? It is actually 8 by pi RT by M. In the previous class I think I made a small mistake. I don't know this video editing, how to put a text and all those things. I cannot go there and edit, change it. So just make this correction. 8 upon pi, it will be approximately 2.5. 2.5 RT by M, and you have RMS, which is root over 3 RT by M. What is this M? It is a molar mass, right? Now in these three speeds, which is the maximum? This is the maximum, okay? And so it is, can I put like this? For any gas, it is like this only, okay? Now what is the condition here? At constant temperature only we are talking about. Alright? At constant temperature we are talking about. You cannot pick 400 Kelvin temperature and 273 Kelvin and say that it's like this. No, it's not that. If you are talking about 273 Kelvin or 300 Kelvin, you can compare these things. Okay, otherwise you have to calculate. This T value is changing, This T value is changing, you need to calculate. So you want to calculate most probable speed at so and so temperature, you have to put that. Remaining thing is constant only for that particular gas. Okay, what is varying? V is proportional to root over T. I have drawn a graph also wherein I have shown the distribution of speeds with respect to temperature. How the most probable speed is getting shifted over. That's there in the previous video, okay? And it is there in the playlist also. Once again, you can just go through and see that graph. And some more terms you come across is isobaric process, isochoric process, So, process. Now, these terms you come across in thermodynamics, okay? Thermodynamics. Now, what is this? It's a branch of engineering you call, branch of physics you call, which essentially deals with heat, temperature, internal work done. All these parameters are studied, Internal work done on the system, by the system, etc., etc. All these things you study under a big branch of thermodynamics. So it's a process. Essentially, it is a process. The way your car engine works, the way a piston works, all these things. Steam piston I'm talking about. So all these things, they involve a process, and in that process you come across these two terms quite frequently. So something or other is constant in this process. So you need to understand what is the constant in isobaric process. It is pressure of the system. And if it is isochoric, iso means same, right? So constant part is the volume part is the constant part, okay? So essentially you should understand these two terms whenever you come across. There are some derivations for this process which I will take up in the next class. So for the time being, you just note it down, okay? See you. See, let us see this isobaric process. In terms of the general gas equations. What was the general gas equation? General gas equation basically is PVT relationship. Okay? At two stages. P1, V1, T1 is one stage, P2, V2, T2 is another stage. So the relationship was P1, V1 by T1 is equal to P2, V2 by T2. So suppose you plot a graph, okay, this pressure on the y-axis and volume on the x-axis. Isobaric, I told you, is constant pressure situation, right? You are maintaining the constant pressure. So constant pressure means what? Your situation will be like this, right? So for this point you will get some V1, this point you will get some V2, but pressure is maintained constant. So pressure is constant value, right? So here in this equation, if the line is straight, P1, P2 gone. So you are getting V1 by T1 or is equal to V2 by T2, or you are getting V by T is equal to constant, right? You are getting V by T is equal to constant. What is this process? Recollect? Isn't this Charles' law? Right? This is Charles' law. So from isobaric process, Charles' law actually eventually comes out. Okay? Just a couple of small points about isochoric process. What exactly we do in this? So here constant volume. That's what we have discussed earlier. So basically what we do is you take a container. Some container you take of fixed volume. Okay? There is a container of some fixed volume, right? It's like this. Inside you fill it with the gas. Inside you fill it with the gas and you raise the temperature. Now these things I will discuss in thermodynamics also, just to give you a feel. So we always keep constructing this PV diagrams. Like in the isobaric case, I have drawn a PV diagram. So here also you will be constructing a PV diagram. So basically what happens is, when you keep the volume constant, because the volume of the container is constant. So when you heat it, I mean, let us not use the term heat right now because we are still studying kinetic theory. Okay, let us say I have given temperature to this. What will happen? The gas, the pressure of the gas will vary, will change. Okay, but here because the volume is constant, so stage 1, stage 2 if you take, the volume is constant. Okay, there in the previous diagram the pressure was constant, here volume is constant. Okay, so the PV diagram will look like this in an isochoric process. Okay, just remember the shape at least. Okay, these things again we will discuss in thermodynamics, just to give you a feel. In the isobaric process, see, we have to talk in terms of PV diagrams. So there will be some heat exchanges when you give heat to the system, or when you take heat from the system, all these things will come there. But basically, essentially, you have to understand that what is constant volume means. You have to contain the gas into a fixed known value. Okay.